Okay, hello. Today I would like to tell you about an activity which is called storytelling, and it's based on this activity, storytelling. And for this particular lesson I have chosen a story which is called Lazy Jack. What is the purpose of the activity? First of all, I've chosen it to practice a certain grammar structure because it is good for making students speak and at the same time increase and encourage them to increase and expand on their creativity and imagination. For this activity, I have chosen two levels, intermediate and upper intermediate, because these are the best levels to exploit students' level of grammar and the scope of vocabulary which they can produce. This level gives them a chance to increase and expand their creativity and imagination. Now, let's move on to the objectives of the story. As I said, we are practicing and repeating the structure, grammar structure, which is based on perfect models, which is should, have, plus past participle. And at the same time, students are practicing listening and speaking. The skills they are obtaining at the end of the story are connected with increasing the willingness to express their thoughts and feelings. They are working on their cooperation because they are working within a team. They are also practicing and enhancing their speaking and listening skills. The expected outcomes of the story are that after the end of the story, when the students have to work within a group, they're cooperating and the teacher is not interrupting them at any point. The only thing he has to pay attention to is that they are speaking English, because they have to cooperate, they have to talk to one another, and they have to work together to execute a task. As I said, this activity is performed within a group and the students are closely cooperating together, expanding their vocabulary and increasing their development of the story. What is important that during the presentation, not all the students are involved in this oral presentation of the story, which is normal because some students are not supposed and are not very willing to speak out in front of the others. But what is the asset of the activity is the fact that all of them are working together within a group, cooperating very closely on the choice of the story and on the final conclusion to the story. Now let's move on to the story itself. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, the title of the story, which is storytelling, is called Lazy Jack. So the teacher starts reading the story and he continues until he gets to the first structure where the students listen and see the first "you should have." He then continues, and every time he gets to the next point where the students are supposed to use the structure with an appropriate sentence, he does exactly the same, like this. He carries on with reading the story, and when he finishes an episode, the students conclude with an appropriate statement, like this. The activity lasts until all the colored papers are finished, so this is what we are supposed to do. These are the comments to the story. Now, at some point, the teacher arrives at the section in the story where he pauses and tells the groups to conclude the story, working out the possible conclusion. Now, he also points out that no story ending is wrong. Everyone is correct. What counts is the cooperation and creativity of the group. Once the groups have finished presenting their stories in front of the rest of the group, the teacher reads the real conclusion. Now, this may be a follow-up activity. We can use cubes, which the students will use for exploiting the ideas connected with the practiced structure. This may be done in two ways. The group may choose one cube, and any picture that is shown can be exploited in a sentence, but they can also work out a number of words which are associated with a given word. They can also throw the cubes, which is even more attractive because they don't know what kind of picture is going to appear. So anyway, whatever they do, whatever method they choose, they still are practicing the vocabulary and the given structure. Now, I hope you have liked the idea. This is very good for practicing speaking, listening, and also it explores imagination and creativity of the group. And this is what counts most. Thank you.